For me, this trip up to Chiefland's really not that far from my home. It's basically about a 60-mile ride north of Crystal River where I live. But you cannot imagine the difference in just the natural environment and the population density falling off to zip. Well, Gray, in the era of COVID-19 and everyone practicing social distancing, I think you have set the benchmark for social distancing up here. This is amazing, this place.
Isolation is, we're used to it. This hasn't been a big change for us.
Probably hasn't affected your life at all.
Not at all, not at all. It's, if anything, it's allowed us more time to be on the water in the woods. So, and
you know how I'm going to make the best of it today? This damn thing does not work. I have zero service. Today, I don't care what happens. It's going to be freaking awesome.
We're going to have a good day.
I'm not going to be bothered. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to have the anxiety of the phone ringer or anything. This is going to be a great day.
Yep, I'm excited. You ready?
All right, you ready to?
I'm ready.
Let's
do it.
Let's churn some water. The river is so scenic. When Gray and I were running out the river and he was pointing out the different islands and all the history behind his family settling in that zone, and then you see these danger jumping sturgeon signs and you're thinking, is that a real problem? And then you see one actually jump and you're like, oh yeah, this is some serious stuff.
There's a sandbar that comes off this point right here. We'll just kind of go around and then just sort of shut down and take our time and idle in or start pulling. What we want to, this right about that nook right there, we'll fish this line right here, this first little bar. And I want us to start off hitting the south end of this island right here along the line. And then we can access all of this back here, which would be flooded grass. Might be able to pick some up.
Yeah, we might be able to get a few. Captain Gray Drummond. Captain Gray and I have known each other probably for almost 10 years through social channels and industry people, but we have never been able to fish together. And this was just one of those opportunities that I did not want to pass up at the Florida Outdoor Experience.
Right now, these fish are congregated in these little cuts between these bars.
In the deeper cuts, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That tide's going to scream in though, and when these bars get covered,
they'll be on top of
it. Pretty good, yeah. There it is. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling bump. Ah! It's been a long time since I've caught one of these. This is nice.
Tell you what, I'm not going to tell anyone you went to the Devil's Stick.
I haven't caught him yet, do I?
Count him anyway.
He's a good fish.
He's holding tight to the bottom.
He feels good.
I'm going to power pole down. Yeah, that's a beautiful fish.
Good fish. You know, of all the fishing that I do, I think red fishing over tarpon, anything else, to me, it's just, it's my favorite.
Most fun?
To me, it is. I love hunting them, you know.
The stalk, the presentation, and then finally the eat. Yeah, that is a respectable fish. Yep. And on the old trusty gold spoon. I was blown away when we walked into the door of the River House. You know, there's several settings at the Florida Outdoor Experience. There's an area for hunting, and then there's an area for fishing. When we showed up on the property, and it's right there on the edge of the Suwannee River, and the grounds are beautiful. It's got an old cracker style house there. You've got a great little dining hall that's separated from it, a fire pit zone, places for the boats to be parked and washed. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous setting. And you can see the river. It's just like black ice out there just sliding by with fish jumping. It's gorgeous, it's quiet. You felt like it was special. From the moment you put your bags down in your room, you knew that this was gonna be something really good. Bump?
Yeah, false alarm. There he is.
Hold up on it. Nice.
You see him wake in earlier on that cast, previous cast?
In conditions like we have this morning where it's kind of slicked out, I'm gonna go ahead and put the power pole down. And it's so shallow, spoon is definitely one of those artificials that you can swing.
About like the other one, maybe a little bigger.
Yeah, these are nice fish.
Good fish.
I mean, solid, healthy fish. You can't argue with fish that size.
No.
He wasn't getting off.
You know, with this front push through the day before, muddy water, visibility was just gone. So CA having that tournament background, me having a little bit of experience in the tournament background, we had to really root back to that and bring that up and apply it to this, to make this show happen. And it was just cast after cast after cast, just beating it. And you know how that is. Anybody that's done a tournament, you're not going to catch them if you have the fly or the plug in the boat. You gotta keep the lure in the water to make it happen. And we did that.
When you fish the lower Suwannee River Wildlife Refuge, it's not a lot different than the Nature Coast, other than the fact that the water clarity for that matter, can be a lot murkier. And that's because there's more mud and less grass. But you gotta have the right tackle to fish it. And a lot of that had to be baits that created flash and vibration. And that's why we really focused on using spoons and using the chatterbait. Oh, redfish got it. Got hung up on the oyster and redfish picked it up. I could see the flash. I was like, what? It's a little bit better than I thought. Great.
Yeah, not bad.
A little bit better. Man, you're forced to use a bait like this in this color water, especially after that big front. Pulling. I'm gonna put the power pole down.
I got you stuck here.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
This is a medium heavy action rod, and I like it because it loads so well to make a nice cast with these, but
there you go.
It was hung on the oyster, and I went to pop it off, and when it popped off and created mud, it must have looked like a shrimp or something. And he just came right up to the top and crushed it. One of the things professional guides have to deal with all the time is the fact that you have to deal with weather conditions, good and bad. And sometimes, believe it or not, too good can be terrible. This was one of those cases where we had a cold front come by and we had high barometric pressure, winds out of the north, bluebird skies, and it just made everything super challenging. It changed tide height, it just changed cloud cover, it made the water murkier. So as beautiful as it was, the conditions were actually kind of terrible. One of the things that I get in tune with when fishing certain baits is the rod attitude, whether you have it up or you have it down, really affects where the bait swims. I was fishing a jig that just kind of shakes, and the only way I can control the depth in the water column is either put the rod tip down and reel slower, if it's a little bit deeper, if we're going in a trough or a channel, or when I know I'm throwing over an oyster bar, keep the rod tip angle up and reel a little bit faster so it shakes and goes over the top of it. So you have to have a feel for that. And as soon as you feel it tick, you got to speed up. I'm good at that because I'm doing it all the time, and the chatterbait's got to be one of my most favorite all-time search lures, especially when I have no idea where the fish are. So if you get in tune with it and you understand how you can use speed and rod angle, you can make the chatterbait effective from anywhere from 6 feet of water to 6 inches of water. There he is.
You want to power pull us down?
Sure.
Well, we were just saying, where are the fish?
Here in that cut. Right in that cut. This is one of those baits, they just stop it.
Yep.
About the size we've been getting to, respectable.
You got him? You want a hand?
Oh, I got him. This is a stick here. That rod I had you on was kind of a bendy rod. This one here,
Stout.
it's stout. Cool water they are.
They're feeling good, aren't they?
They're feeling good. Again, a bladed bait.
They're all in that 25,
Yeah,
24, 25.
Yeah, 24, 25 inch range. Let's put him back in. Don't get my glasses off. This is you know, you'd throw this in some clear water zone,
Yeah.
you wouldn't get a bite. It's called Purple Death. That's the name of the bait.
So what do you think? Do you think it's the flash
It's
of
the
the spoon up front, or do you think it's the action of the
It's
tail?
that shaky back and forth that just makes the whole bait kind of writhe. Feels like it's alive. And they can feel it. They don't have to see it. They can feel it run to the feel, and then they'll you know, see the bright colors.
It works.
And in this, I mean, this color water, look how this water's off. It's hard to
It's
hard to see a bait. That front didn't help either. I mean,
Not at all. Yeah.
made it a little challenging, but beating those little cuts up like that is the way to do it. I think he was just laying right inside that cut. I don't know if there's more there or not.
Catch another one, let's see. CA's talked about coming to Florida Outdoor Experience to do a fishing show and to kind of see what we have going on here. And I thought, you know, this would be a great opportunity to show him some of my neck of the woods and probably a piece of Florida that he might not have even seen before. A lot of people don't know that this exists. It's a very rural part of the state, and it's where I grew up, and I'm very proud of it. It's very unique in my opinion because it's for the most part undeveloped, untouched. You know, you can go out on the weekend and maybe not even see 2 boats. I don't know where else you can go in Florida and experience that. So where our lodge is, or one of our lodges is located, is right on the banks of the Suwannee River at a little place called Fowler's Bluff. You literally can walk out the door, down into the dock, step on your boat, and boom, you're on the water. 15-minute boat ride, you're catching redfish. And I think that's something that's pretty unique.
In today's episode that we shot with Captain Gray Drummond there at the Florida Outdoor Experience, there were two lures that we really employed 99% of the time. That was the Gold Spoon, which is a tried and true lure in nearly all fisheries that you could possibly imagine. But one that I really want to share with you is the chatterbait. It's less embraced in the saltwater arena than it is in the freshwater arena. But when I tell you that this is one of the best search baits or power fishing baits that you can use for redfish, especially in marshy zones that have turbid water, I mean it. The first component, aside from the bait itself, is I like to have a 7-foot medium action rod. That allows me to make nice, smooth, accurate casts and still have a rod that has enough spine, well, to set the hook on a big chunky hook with a jig head like this, because hook sets are going to be a premium. Now the bait itself is a little unique. It's kind of a combination, if you will, of a spinner bait, a spoon, and a jig all in one. What's cool about it is when this blade makes this shaking motion, it gives this jig a wild rolling action as it swims through the water. I have the vibration and flash of both a spinner bait and a spoon, and there's so many ways I can fish it. I can fish it slower so I can achieve more depth. I can fish it faster with a higher rod angle to get over the top of shallow stuff like oyster bars or little sand berms. There's just nothing that you can't do. Lots of versatility with this jig, and it expands the strike zone immensely. So you can pull fish from 8 or 10 feet away if you're throwing a jig such as the chatterbait.
Nice. He looks a little bigger. Oh.
Right where he was supposed to be, too.
Yep.
Right on that point. Yeah.
Just the bite's picked up a little.
Might be the one you and I go home back to the lodge, Bubba. We just had the turn of the tide where the water started peeling off. And just as soon as it did, the fish moved right to the points. They're setting up the feed. And that's basically, I mean, we just got to the first outside point. We just wanted to see if it would be the deal. Gray said it would be.
I love the turn of that outgoing. That's the ticket in here on these bars.
This is a nice fish and beautiful too. That's the way you end a day. Maybe I power pole us down and let's take a picture of this one. I want to get you holding this fish. You're the one who worked so hard to put us in position for it. I'll pole us down.
You're the one who cast 100 times a day. You got it. You got us pulled down?
I've got you stuck with the power pole. I might try to bring him to the left side away from the push pole. Well, he's going to go wherever he wants to go. That's what's going to happen.
You got him, CA?
I'm gonna have you grab a hold of him. I'm gonna get a pick with you.
All right.
That's a full-grown one right there.
How's that? You worked for that, baby.
I can't thank you enough. Not only for the great hospitality.
Absolutely.
At the lodge, but one of those experiences. I'm gonna get a picture with you for that.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Memorialize my trip to Florida Outdoor Experience. Tell me about those ribs we're having for dinner again tonight.
Oh,
I'm ready.
You keep catching these, we might have redfish for dinner tonight.
That was an unbelievable day of fishing.
Pretty fish.
Crazy good.
That's a good way to end the day, right?
It is a great way to wrap up. You always want to end on a catch if you can.
That's right.
And you did a great job getting us in position.
There we go. You ready for a nice release on this?
Yeah, put Rusty back in.
All right. Good job, buddy.
Good job.
I enjoyed it. Had a great time with you.
That is the way you do it.
Way to end it.
Wonderful work. So most people associate Florida with the mouse, Walt Disney World, or white beaches, hotels, restaurants, South Beach. They don't really understand what Florida is all about or what it used to be about, and that's old Florida. And the Florida Outdoor Experience really delivers that feeling, that emotion of how it used to be. What's really nice about even all the staff there at the Florida Outdoor Experience is they're just not professional guides. They grew up in the outdoors. They understand the outdoors. Sitting around the fire pit at night and pouring a little bit of Papa's Pilar and having a couple of brews and talking about the day's fishing or the day's hunting. I mean, there's no substitute for that type of I don't know, emotion that you get out of hanging out there at the Florida Outdoor Experience. I mean, it's all about hunting. It's all about fishing. It's all about relaxing and loving the outdoors.